I see. Yes. Why? That's a little more difficult to explain.
I've got all night.
Hey YouTubers, it's Charlie. So we finally got to see the first episode of Sherlock Series 3, The Empty Hearse. We all had a bunch of questions, so I asked you to post them in the comments. I still have to watch the episode a couple more times before I do my breakdowns. There's just so much stuff, so I'll probably post that on Friday. I'm also working on a Peter Capaldi video too. Be sure to subscribe to get them. Since I have to reference a lot of specific events during the episode, just consider this a broad spoiler warning. Just like last time, I picked 20 of your questions. So let's get started. Number 1, Laughs at Thunder asks, Sherlock seemed much more human. Did something happen while he was away to cause this change? And will they address it in the next 2 episodes? Yes, something did change. He got super lonely. If you remember, when he and Mycroft are doing the deductions game, he puts the hat on. He was actually, making fun of Mycroft for being lonely, but when he puts that hat on, the Lonely Man hat, we'll call it the Lonely Man hat, he basically is talking about himself being lonely. He really missed Watson, and they kind of addressed that during the course of that first episode. Episode 2 will deal mostly with the Three's Company situation that's going on with Mary Morstan. Question number 2, Chaz Madison asks, what was Anderson's involvement with the Jack the Ripper book? So that was actually just Anderson's fan club, The Empty Hearse, trying to pay homage to Sherlock. They know he likes puzzles, so they were trying to impress him. Obviously it didn't turn out very well, but it'd be like you doing a video of yourself reenacting Sherlock scenes and sending it to Benedict Cumberbatch, trying to impress him with your acting skills. That's basically what they were doing. Question number 3, Yang Zihan asks, what was up with the scene with Sherlock and Moriarty? So yeah, that was kind of intense if you weren't prepared for it. They were showing us, what all the possible theories were. They weren't meant to be real theories, they were just meant to be possibilities. So that was just Mark Gatiss paying homage to that. Question number 4, The Chief Gaming asks, I thought they should have given us the final Sherlock Lives solution at the end. So yeah, a lot of people had this question where they said, how come they didn't explain explicitly what the actual solution was? If you remember that scene where Sherlock tells Anderson, everyone's a critic, that's just Mark Gatiss saying that, no matter what the actual solution is, fans would never be happy, so they're not even going to try and tell us what it is. That's also where that 13 possibilities comment comes in, where they're basically just saying that the fans have probably come up with scenarios that are more complex and interesting than the writers ever could. Question number 5, Fangirl1502 asks, do you think Molly's boyfriend will be important later? So yeah, a lot of Molly's boyfriend questions. I don't think that he's that important. It's a bit tricky because obviously, Moriarty turned out to be the main villain the last time. There was a lot of aspects of this episode that mirrored other episodes of Sherlock, but I don't think that they would do something quite so obvious. It was just meant to be a funny scene, and I think the real joke is that he looks exactly like Sherlock, and it was just meant to be funny. Question number 6, Ivy Hay asks, what was up with Sherlock in the tunnel when he was with Molly and Greg? And is Molly still in love with Sherlock? So, more Molly questions. There's a lot of Molly questions that I got. So, no, she's not still in love with Sherlock. She'll always have a soft spot for him, but that scene where they part ways is just meant to show that she's moving on with her life. And the Mind Palace scene, the scene where, he's going all weird in his head, is basically just the new way that they're visualizing the Mind Palace on screen. Question number 7, Soraya Mulchin asks, is Donovan coming back? Realistically, I think that scene at the beginning where they referenced her and Anderson discrediting Sherlock is probably the most we'll ever see of her. Question number 8, Bitey Mad Hudson asks, was the tube a reference to V for Vendetta? Good question. So it's similar. It was actually a reference to the original event, the Gunpowder Plot of 1605. That was what V for Vendetta was based on. So it's based on the actual event, the Guy Fawkes event. Question number 9, Lady Loves Music 1 asks, what do you think about the theories that Mary dies in episode 3? In the original novels, Mary actually dies after she marries Watson, and in between 2 books. She doesn't even die during a story. It's like The Empty House, the episode that this is, loosely based on. I don't know how true to the text they're going to be, but, Mark Gatiss and Stephen Moffat are very good about including references, but they do take a lot of liberties. I'd be very disappointed if it was exactly the way it happens in the books. I don't think that's going to be the case. But the villain this season has already set Watson on fire, so he's already taken that next step that Moriarty never did. Question number 10, Nita Moshig asks, why did Sherlock go to Anderson and explain how he fell off the building? The reason he explained that story to him, it's a false story by the way, it's not the real story, was just because he was playing with him a little bit. He knows about his Empty Hearse fan club. Question number 11, Pranjal Desai asks, is Mary going to be compromised by the villain? I think she's going to be part of the plot. I don't think that she's going to be involved with the villain. I don't think she's an evil person. Question number 12, Summer Bradshaw asks, what happened to Sally Donovan? So she's still part of the Force, she's just not part of the season 3 narrative yet. Like I said earlier, she's not listed in the credits, so we won't know until we actually see episode 2 or 3. Question number 13, Matt Dawson asks, who does Sherlock keep speaking to when he's talking to himself? He was just hallucinating Watson. He was just, remembering things the way they used to be whenever he was with Molly. Question number 14, Philip Brukovic asks, which theory is the closest to being correct? So, I did a Sherlock Lives video, so I think that my theory is the closest. Obviously, he kind of lets slip when he's talking to Mary that he didn't fall off the building, but that doesn't mean that he didn't jump off, so I'm sticking with my own theory. But honestly, all the theories they showed have elements of truth, so if you combine all those, I think that you'll find what actually ended up happening. Number 15, Blake Hutton asks, what do you think about the way we met his parents? I didn't really think it was necessary though. They didn't really feel like they were part of the narrative other than to be a joke for his family. And obviously they paid off that Les Mis moment with Mycroft later, and that was funny, but I didn't think the story needed it. Question number 16, Denabella asks, what was your favorite theory that they showed us? I didn't have a favorite theory, but I did think the funniest one was the Moriarty Sherlock one. That was a little bit ridiculous. It was a bit of a WTF moment. I just looked at my screen and went, no, 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 no. So you get the idea. Question number 17, Charlie Melville asks, how many mustache jokes were there? Hey, you're named like my name. There were definitely at least 10. I'll try to have an exact number for my breakdown, but what happened is they all came in spurts. So someone would make a mustache jokes, and then it'd be like knocking a domino over. There'd be like 3 more mustache jokes, and then there'd go, a while without any jokes, and then someone else would make another joke, and there'd be like 3 more mustache jokes. So they were all concentrated in like little groups. Question number 18, Allison Lee asks, do you think it will turn out that Mary is working with the villain? She solved that code pretty fast. So, like I said earlier, no, I don't think she's, literally involved with the villain. I think she'll be part of, whatever that final plot is in the final episode. Whenever Sherlock was analyzing her, it made it seem like she was a bit foolish. She's kind of like a less silly version of Molly. Question number 19, X Crystal X101XX asks, when Sherlock was scanning Mary, the word liar popped up. What do you think this means? I actually just think that it means that she's lying about her past to Watson. I think, she's probably just trying to conceal something like a previous marriage or, something that happened in her past. I don't think that she's, trying to lie about her involvement with the villain or anything like that. Question number 20, Tom Monty asks, who is your favorite Sherlock character of all time, not including Sherlock? So I would say that my favorite character is Molly Hooper. She's the funniest, she's the warmest, she's the most sincere. I really hope, of all the characters that I hope gets a happy ending, I hope that it's Molly. So thank you so much for submitting all your questions, everyone. I'll be doing a breakdown video tomorrow, and then episode 2 is going to air on Sunday, and it'll be the same drill. I'll do a non-spoiler review and then a Q&A video after that. Be sure to subscribe to get all those videos. I'm also working on that Peter Capaldi video for Friday too, my predictions for Series 8. Right now you can click here to watch my episode 1 review, and you can click here to get that breakdown. I'll add the annotation as soon as I post the video. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys tonight. High fives.